Alright guys, welcome to another episode of 4K Garage. In this episode, in the next few episodes, I'm going to start taking off the Rocket Bunny kit, tidying up some of the parts where it meets the body, shaving it down, making it fit a bit more nice, a bit more flush, because I don't plan to run the rubber edging around the kit, as well as drilling out the screw holes, making them wider, making them big enough for the well nuts to go in, starting to fit those, starting to rust proof those, and just generally kind of tidying up and refining the fit and finish of the kit. This is all before we start applying any kind of filler in areas or high build primer to key it up and get it ready for a wrap. So it might be a little bit boring. It might be primarily time lapses. I might talk a bit about what I'm doing, but stay along for the ride. Hope you enjoy it. We go from there. Right, so as I've said already, my end goal for this process is to there's various areas around here where there's little gaps, some bigger than others. My plan is essentially, if there's a gap there or a gap here, then it must mean there's a couple of high points that are keeping it bowed out or pressed away from the body. So if you can shave down those high points, it brings the whole kit a little bit closer, a little bit snug, and a better finish against the body. As well as that, of course, it's just to drill out all of these holes to accept the M5 bolts, and drill out all the holes behind them to accept the M5 roll nuts.
That you used to get on Mulholland Drive every night and visualize seeing yourself as...
I would visualize having directly people that I respect.
Right, so as you can see, I've drilled out the holes in the arch. That's all looking very good. I've also drilled out the holes in the original wing and given them a quick spritz of weld-free primer, even on the glass fiber, just to seal up all the fibers again. Alright, so I've got the front wheel off, as you can see. Just doing a couple of things. One, as I said, I'm drilling out and rust proofing all the edge here, giving it a nice thick, good inch or so of weld-free primer after scuffing it up, and then I'm going to finish that off with some underbody sealer. And also to make some clearance for the front wheels, we have to knock back this lip around here. This is just a cap that's spot welded in. Some people will cut it, but then you have to weld the cap back on. I don't really fancy doing that, so I'm just going to make some relief cuts in the lip here and smash it back. Already done the other side and it looks to have cleared the wheel quite nicely. There's a small lip here that just has to be moved out of the way. I don't want to touch any of this because it's structural. Going to cut the existing arch liner and use the bit that gives the biggest protection to the engine bay. I'll show you what that looks like when I've done that, because that is often a big question when it comes to wide bodying these cars, is what do you do to protect the engine bay from all water, mud and so on. And lastly, I'm also just doing a Little change on with the front camber bolts I installed recently. Apparently you get even a little bit more camber if you put them on the bottom hole rather than the top hole. And I just want to do that just to get it so the wheel just tucks under the arch, so that it's not putting pressure on that arch when it's aired out, won't crack over time or something like that. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm just going to start with the camber hole first because it's a nice easy job.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running.
Right, so I've got all that cut, folded in, went over it a little bit of 40 grit. Just now I'm going to go over it a bit of 120, and then I've got some sealer just to seal up all these little open layers. Gonna the same what kind of white sealer they use from the factory anyway. It's all around here, and just going to seal up all these areas. Give it a coat of weld-free primer, and then a load of underseal. that's that all sealed up. It's not pretty, but then, you know, your wheel wells don't have to be pretty. Just give that a big coat of weld-through primer and then put some underseal on it. Right, now that the primer's drying, I want to tackle covering this area here. Now you can actually get away with using a fraction of the original arch line. Let me show you what I've done on the other side, and then you can see kind of what I'm going to cut out. So coming around here, you may be able to see what I've cut there. I've cut up to the strut itself, and then down to the headlight support there. And cutting this out will just kind of ensure that the largest part of the arch leading into the engine bay is covered up. I may then make some shields for this area here, kind of tying all this together. And I may make some shields for the back of the arch leading to the door there. But for now, let's get this cut out, get this fitted, and go from there. Here's how much I've cut off of the arch liner, as you can see, basically the whole vast majority of it. When I push it up, you can see it covers up the main part, which is the big window into the engine bay. Just going to start clipping this back in. Okay. So for the most part, that's all covered. Now, like I said, some areas up here, there's areas down here, but the wheel travels there, so I may even have to relocate that horn because that may be in the way of the wheel, but if not, then I'll probably make some additional arch liner. Right, so as you can see, I've got all of this undersealed all the way around here, and I'm probably going to leave it like that just to give it a nice, decent layer of rust proofing. The arch liner in there, covering up the engine bay. Like I said, there is some areas that I will need to make additional cover for. All this undersealed, all of that undersealed, still wet of course, all that undersealed. And that's looking pretty good. Now I would put the arch back on now on the wheel, but I just want to give that a good day or so to all dry up because it stays wet for quite a while. Let me show you the other side. So I did this the other day, and so I've got the arch and the wheel back on, and the fit of the arch still needs some work. Still some areas that have a decent gap, so I still need to work on that. But as you can see with the new hardware on, it's looking pretty good. The wheel's on. Made clearance for the wheel around there. So that should be tight, but it should pass that no problem. And then likewise all the way around here, got my arch liner in, all nice and clear. This is what I've been working on with the diffuser. So I've started putting the fiberglass on the inside. Now my next stage is now to, now that it's kind of held in position, I need to bridge this gap here, start bridging these gaps, and bridging that gap there. Just scuff that up so that the resin has something to grip onto. It's already pretty solid in there, and just this is it from the other side. I have two kinds of glass fiber. I've got this thick strand stuff that I just use as a first layer, and I've got a thinner stuff which I'll probably use from now on, just because this stuff's a bit of a nightmare to work with. It's just all the strands kind of come out every time you run a brush over it. So it's rough so far, but yeah, once I've filled up those gaps, I can start smoothing it in and using. I've got glass fiber filler and normal body filler and so on. Get it all nice and smooth. Of course, the inside doesn't matter as much, being that it's all the raw glass fibre anyway. So it's mainly the outside that I'm worried about, getting that all nice and smooth. That's it once again for this episode. Probably a bit of a boring one, just rust proofing and grinding and smashing things with hammers. Bit of fun for me, but probably not too fun to watch. But either way, I hope you enjoyed it. So next week, I'm going to be doing the rear arches and the side skirts, improving the fit and the finish of those, as well as doing the diffuser, sorting out the wing. The weekend after that, I've got the car's going to get the rear arches welded up. The week following that, I'm going to start prepping for the wrap, sanding it all and using body filler or high build primer where I need it. And so hopefully things are going to start coming along and the car will be done soon. Just trying to take my time with it as much as possible so that I don't have to get it all sorted and then run into issues of wheels rubbing or forgetting something and having to revisit it. I'd rather just get it all done correctly the first time. So that's why I'm taking my time with it. But hopefully you guys enjoy it nonetheless. If you did, of course, as always, do all that good YouTube stuff. I hope I'll see you on the next episode. Till then, have a good one. Bye for now.
Bye.